So this is pretty much what I've been experiencing every time I start this car. I have a clogged jet somewhere in here, and I take them apart, clean out idle jet here or there, and it'll start running well. So I've done some research and found that there's an update kit that I can try to put on these carburetors that maybe will solve this problem. So let's get after it. So I have some parts here to hopefully remedy this carburetor situation. This is a Dellorto, let's see what they call it exactly. Dellorto update kit for 40mm DRLA carburetors. Did I say that right? DRLA. So essentially, from the gist of this article from VW Trends in January 1996, when carburetors were kind of going by the wayside, they stopped doing any development work on them. So CB Performance came up with this kit that changes the discharge, the fuel discharge, the way it's done in the carb, and it changes the idle, where the idle gets its air from, which hopefully will help correct the idle jet clogging problem. So let's get into it. So we can start with the idle circuit. Essentially, you change where it gets the inlet air. So this top goes on the carb like that, and idle air gets pulled in right through this little hole right here. So any trash, etc. I think my problem is actually maybe water, the way these air cleaners are, will get in there and screw up the idle. So these idle jets are really tiny too. So somehow it gets the air through there, and then this jet is like super tiny. I'm sure you can see through it. So what they do is, in the kit, it comes with an extended idle jet holder that pulls the air from up here where it won't get crap in it, and these look like fishing line sinkers, little lead balls. We're supposed to plug that with. Luckily they sent some to drop too, because it only needs 4. So we'll start by doing that. Watch me drop all of them. Right, so that should just drop right in that hole. The instructions actually show you where to put it. So you just knock that in there. We'll get our punch and knock it in there. All right, that thing sits flush. Now we will pull the idle jet off the old holder. Make sure I can see through that thing. I ordered larger idle jets, and somehow I screwed up and ordered 2. So we're going to go back with these. These are 55s, which I think is too small. I ordered 62, but somehow ordered 2 of them. So let me fish out the O-ring. We'll get an O-ring put on that. We'll leave this to be the O-ring and get a little bit of oil on it. Maybe not. Guess I need to refill my oil can. A little gear oil. Use a pick to get us over the top. All right. So now there's our idle jet. needs to be a little bigger screwdriver. The main jet lives in here, and that's the main jet. They say with this kit that it changes the idle, but it also comes with new, that's apparently an air correction jet. And at first I was a little messed up because this wouldn't come apart, because there's the jet. This pulls off. And I was like, wait a minute, this isn't going to work. But actually, I always thought this was one piece, but apparently not. So, apparently it delivers fuel so much better, you can go with a different size main jet. So let's see actually what we ended up with. That's a 140. The new one's a 152. I didn't think this thing was fat enough anyway, so this should help. So that jet just slides in that emulsion tube. And then the air correction jet apparently is this long thing. Replaces the short one. Let's see what it was, just out of curiosity. That is a 185. This looks like 1.7, so they did say it would be smaller. And then it just drops in. The rest of this update kit apparently stock is a secondary venturi, so it dumps all the fuel through the ring in the middle here. Well, this new kit has spray bars, and it's like a shower head across there. So to get the venturis out, let me turn this around. Get the venturis out. There's a lock nut. Probably don't even need to take off. Now my screwdriver's probably too big. Nope. And a set screw, that comes out. The accelerator pump squirter is right here in the back. That needs to come out. I've done this a few times. You should be able to push that and the whole thing comes out in one shot. This has a D shape, so it only goes in one way, so the discharge hole's down. Now this should pull out, and this venturi should pull out. There's the new venturi, it's all one piece. It drops in with this cutout is where the accelerator pump squirter goes in. So that drops in, you kind of line it up. And this is the new horizontal discharge tube. So this is what's actually going to spray the fuel in. Holes point down, and it goes through the hole in the side. Comes into the middle. And then the end of that tube, let me find one. The end of that tube accepts this set screw, and that's what holds it in there. The set screw is pointed. Lock nut goes back on. Which is 11 millimeter. I replaced all these O-rings not long ago, so I'm just putting them all back. I don't see any need to change them. Those are the squirters for the accelerator pump. And it comes with all new gaskets if you need them. Since I just did this not long ago, I'm going to leave them. So there we go. There's essentially doing one for one cylinder. So now I need to do this main jet, air correction jet, idle jet on this one, and do the discharge tube on that one. I won't bore you with that though. That is apparently the correct float level on one of these carburetors. You want the fuel just kind of halfway up that little ledge right there. Well, so I went to thread that in there, and guess what? There's no threads on that one. So, guess I can send it back to the drawing board or send for a new one, but I may just try to figure out what thread that is and go ahead and tap that. First, I think I'll take a picture and send it to the manufacturer just so they're aware of the problem. See if we can figure that out. So by getting my trusty thread pitch gauge out, looks like this is 1 millimeter, and have an M7 by 1 tap, and the old one threads right in there, so that must be what it's supposed to be. So due to my impatience, I'll go ahead and just tap this thing. I guess thread it. So this is a die. Alright. See how this works. Oh, she straightest thing in the world. but that should work. So the carbs are back on. Battery's been on the charger for a while because it was getting kind of slow. Since I dumped the fuel out of the carbs, it's probably going to take a little cranking to get it to start. So what I'm doing is turning the idle mixture screws all the way in. So this one's all the way in on number 3. Start coming back out. Until it smooths out. I'm sorry, I guess that was number 4. Here's number 3. So that one's missing now. So since I changed the whole lot, I had to open up the throttle a little bit to make it idle. I think I'll actually get my tach over here and we'll set the correct RPM. So I could still not get that cylinder to behave, so I pulled the jet stack out and cleaned that idle jet. I couldn't see through it. Hopefully this is the last time I have to keep playing this game. There's a new fuel filter on here and it is clean as a whistle. So I'm hoping this is some legacy stuff here. And I'm not sure if I blew that one out when I changed it. I found this thing somewhere, but it actually works perfect for setting these idle mixture screws. As I was kind of randomly turning them, I think I'm going to turn them all in and come back out like 2 turns and start from there. Let's see what happens there. I think we're running all of them now. It's been a couple weeks. The vendor was kind enough to send me a new idle jet holder that had threads on it. And also, when I ordered this stuff, I ordered new idle jets, and for some strange reason I only ordered 2 and I needed 4. So they included that. Well, I had to pay for them, but I didn't have to pay for shipping, so that wasn't a bad deal. So I switched out all the idle jets. They were 55. I wanted 60 was the next size up. I wanted to go to a 60, but they were out. So they're 62s. So anyway, I have that jet holder in. I have 62s in there, and I reset all the idle screws at 3.5. So let's see what happens. my problem with the tach. I didn't put it on the coil wire, so they don't give you all the digits. So we're idling about 700 RPMs. We'll let it warm up a minute, and then we'll try to dial in the idle a little better, at least the idle mixture. Okay, so I balanced the idle a little bit and ran the idle screws in about half a turn, and I believe I'm going to take it for a little drive and see how it runs. It definitely sounds different. I don't know if you can hear it on camera, but the idle just sounds better. It has a little deeper exhaust note or something. I'd say it definitely runs better. So after yesterday's test drive, we decided to run on 3 cylinders again when we got home. Looks like number 3, so I suspect there is a plugged idle jet in there. So I'm going to get that out of there and clean it out. That cylinder is not running again, so back to the drawing board. I don't see any reason that spark plug should not be firing. Matter of fact, it smells like it's not getting fuel. There's something still in that idle circuit. To be continued. Cylinder number 4 was not running or idling or doing whatever. I checked everything. I pulled that carburetor off, pulled the idle jet out, which I probably didn't even need to do, but I wanted to go through it thoroughly. Pulled the idle jet out, looked like it had some junk in it, cleaned it out, put it back on, and it started right up. Seems to run pretty well now. It's been sitting a day, so I'm going to see if I can start it without even getting in the car. Let's put a squirt or 2 accelerator pump. Let's see if she fires up. It is definitely idling on all 4 now, and it sounds a lot different than it did before, so I'm pretty happy with it. One thing I did discover while trying to time it, the timing light was really dim and it looked like my generator wasn't charging. So I'm going to see if we're putting out anything now, because the light on the dash actually worked. I'm going to see what's coming out of the generator, and if we don't have more than 12 volts, then that'll be another video. I don't know if you can see that, but at higher RPMs I should have more than like 12 volts. I should have more like 14. So anyway, I'm going to call this video done for now. And I guess one of our next ones will be sorting out the charging system on this. Thanks for watching and subscribing. I'll see you in a few.